So to begin with, could you please comment on why there has been such a slow progress of the uptake of biogas technology, even though some of the programs by the MNRE have been implemented way back in 1984?
Yeah.
Why has it been so slow?
So what has happened and what is happening even today? The program is started in 1981. In 1981, this program is started, and when the MNRE was created in 1982 or 1981 itself, as a commission for additional source of energy, and then DNES, Department of Non-Conventional Energy, so now MNRE, Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. So this has been transferred to MNRE from the Agriculture Ministry. To me it appears that they didn't require it, because at that time it was a phase of green revolution, and the Agriculture Ministry thought, because they didn't put any resistance for its transfer. So because they thought that the green revolution is there and with everything can be done by the chemical fertilizer. So as long as the bio content, what was being flagged by some of the questioners today, that as long as the bio content or the organic content was enough in the soil, the chemical fertilizer increased the production. And once that got reduced, now any amount of chemical fertilizer, pesticide, watering, anything you do, it is not yielding and giving yields of the highest order what is designed for. So therefore, now the Agriculture Ministry itself has started talking again about the need for providing organic fertilizer, what they call that they have to give food to the soil, they have to improve the health of the soil. All those terminologies are being used. They started saying that the soil is a living being just like human being, because so many organisms are there, microorganisms are there. So if just like that, if we eat only chemical, we will die. So similarly, soil will also die. That is what it is dying. Slowly it is dying. So therefore the Agriculture Ministry has now awakened again, and they say that they want organic fertilizer for the soil to sustain the agriculture production. But then there is a business interest. People who are there in the chemical fertilizer business, insecticide, pesticide business, they want to increase. They want to increase every year their production. They want to go to more and more people, irrespective of it is doing good or bad. So there is a lobby. There is a chemical fertilizer lobby. Similarly, there is a LPG or gas lobby in the country. So these lobbies will not allow anything good to happen, and that is the problem. So when we talk of a biogas plant, why it was not successful then and why it is not successful even today, the reason is not that the technology is bad. As a matter of fact, there is no technology better than the biogas plant, biomethanation technology, which can treat the wet biomass waste and gives us three outputs. One is the energy, gaseous energy. Second is the organic fertilizer, biofertilizer. And third is the sanitation itself. Now the biomass waste is the biggest polluter. We know either it's rural area or urban area. Now if it is the biggest polluter, then it must be handled, and there has to be a mission mode approach. So that the clean fuel what we talk of. So we should also talk of, as I mentioned in my presentation, it's the energy access, it is the organic fertilizer access, it is the sanitation access. Why not? If you go to villages today, they have become the dumping yards. All bad things in the cities, in landfills. Now there are landfills created in every village. It is stinking. And so-called availability of water and good quality water and drinking water. Now so much of water is drained every day in the villages. Lot of mosquitoes are cropping, which were not there earlier. In the earlier time when the water was being pumped from the wells, then it was not there. But today, every village will be having lot of either hand pumps are there or the tube wells are there. They are putting lot of water going in these nalis, these bad water channels, wastewater channels, and they are making the entire area very bad.
Okay.
So therefore, if this technology is to be made successful and usable and made attractive, the users are not interested. Users will be interested if the support level, the infrastructure support level is to come from all the three agencies. The energy agency, the fertilizer agency, and also the sanitation agency. I will cite an example. Rural Development Ministry is having at least two programs. One is the Total Sanitation Campaign, TSC, and they are having another program, the MNREGA. Okay. Now these two programs they are running, they are spending money. The Agriculture Ministry, they are providing support for organic fertilizer. They are providing, they are installing the plant and also all that composting plant, they are having this scheme. Then the Fertilizer Ministry, Chemical and Fertilizer, they are providing subsidy to the chemical fertilizers. Now if all these resources are put together and used for treatment of every gram of biomass waste generated at source, that is in the villages or in the fruit mandis and vegetable mandis in urban areas, if they are treated, they will give you three things. One is the energy. You can use it in the form of thermal energy. You can put up cold storages based on thermal energy. You can purify and bottle. You can run your vehicles on that. For that, program is available today and technology is available today. So therefore, if you have this approach, which is going to, but investments are required. Like the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas, they say they require 60,000 rupees, crore rupees. Rupees 60,000 crore they require for having the infrastructure alone. Now if they are requiring that infrastructure for bringing the gas from outside at the ports and others and then reaching to the last mile in the remotest village of the country, why can't we put that 60,000 crore rupee in 5 years time in all the villages, have these plants in a public-private partnership mode installed, where there is investment from the government, you give as a equity, interest-free equity, balance banks can give, and these plants start producing two things, the energy and the fertilizer. You are self-sustainable in that. And then the sanitation which you are going to have, that is a boon and bonus. So that is what is required to be done. But what we will see in the process, that these issues will not be tackled in this manner. As I said, the elephant is to be seen in totality, not that either the trunk or the leg or the all that. So that is what we have.
Sir, earlier you were saying about how the users aren't interested, they aren't buying the idea as well. So do you think propagating these biogas technologies would also require, say, a marketing strategy to make it attractive to the end user ultimately?
Main problem, I will tell you, it's a plant.
Anji.
It's not a product. People confuse. It's not a LPG burner. It is not a cook stove, improved cook stove burner, chula. It is a plant. Now plant is to be fed, handled, maintained as any industrial plant is done. You have to collect feed, you have to process feed, prepare feed, and then you put this feed at the right time, in right quantity, in right mix in the biogas plant every day without fail. As we eat food morning and evening, ideally you have to feed this plant morning and evening. And then after the gas is generated, you have to use, and the fertilizer which is coming out, you have to use. People are having the tendency to store it just like a compost for 6 months or 4 months and then use it. That is wrong. It is a ready fertilizer, should be used. For this, education is required and the campaign is required. And once he is feeding to the plant, what he is doing? At least half a day labor. And if today is the 300 rupees the labor per day in urban area and 200 in MNREGA, 250 in MNREGA. So 120 rupees to 150 rupees per day manpower is required to run the plant. So when I got the subsidy increased on behalf of MNRE, when I was working for MNRE from the government, I argued in the committees, high-powered committee, expenditure finance committee, that only fools are going to install biogas plant. 150 rupees, at that time I said only 50 rupees, 30 to 50 rupees. So 30 to 50 rupees, who will put? Instead you buy the LPG, even if it is on paying some additional cost, it is better, it is cheaper. So 50 rupees per day would mean 1500 rupees per month. And one cylinder at the market price costs around 1000 rupees, even today. So why one should do? Unless all these three things are factored. So he has to be supported, for then only he will do, otherwise he will not. People are not available, I mean manpower is a problem. So when I said Manrega and all, and the rural sanitation is to be, resources are to be pooled, means the biogas plant, if you have to dig a pit for the biogas plant, let the Manrega manpower should do it. So that becomes the help to the user, right?
Yes.
Similarly, if some hardware is to be done, Manrega is also short, they are only producing labors, which maybe the foreign countries may be interested. We don't have skilled labors. So Manrega has also to go for giving manpower and more support to the skilled manpower. The blacksmiths, the carpenters. So jobs are to be created, infrastructure is to be created for them also. If the rural employment is to be done, then the biogas plant making operation, cook stove making operation, things are assembled there. All these things come from the Manrega. And the rural sanitation, you have to have a toilet. Now that toilet is subsidies available from the government, but that is insufficient. So people are not doing. And if some people are doing, they are getting money from other sources, directly, indirectly, knowingly, unknowingly. That is how it is being done. But one toilet, I tell you, is not enough. People do not flag this. In urban area, a family of 4 or 5 or 6 require 2 toilets at least. Same is required in the rural area also. So what happens? The one person will go in the toilet, other person will go in the open. And the whole area is dirty. So that is why I said that you have to have a decentralized plant, biogas plant, family size biogas plant, and also you have a centralized unit of biogas plant in the same village. So that the extra biomass waste is collected, pooled, processed, and the energy and fertilizer and sanitation, all the 3 objectives are met at the village level itself. So that is what is required. So we have to muster support for this. We have to make a policy. I can help you in doing it. Make a policy, flag it properly, and then we go for these programs.
So in reality, how much of this elephant is being viewed by policymakers? How much is what you're saying being looked at by policymakers?
It is like this.
In reality, right now.
In reality, what has happened that some information is available with somebody. And to me it appears, it's my personal view, that everywhere there is a business. So if there are businessmen doing some business out of it, then only the right thing will reach. So, and especially if you have external sources, or the foreign countries are interested in any sector, so the better businessmen will come here. And that is unfortunately for cook stove and also for the biogas, that is not there for the smaller scales. Bigger scales, they will make it so costly that it is unaffordable. So therefore, wherever there is a business angle, there is a businessman involved, and businessmen will be involved if they are able to make business out of it. Then only it will be done. Otherwise, it will be done in a not in totality or in a fragmented manner. And when I started the biogas purification and bottling program, this was with this intention, that we convert this biogas into a fuel which can compete with any of the modern and latest fuel, be it CNG or LPG or diesel or petrol, anything. You run your car on biogas, compressed biogas, CBG. So that is where we have to create business. We have to create business interest in that.
Okay. So is that where you see the future is going to be, the future of cooking fuel in rural India?
Yeah.
With regards to biogas?
Yeah. Now cooking fuel, the biomass is having two components. Biomass waste. That is what I made in the presentation. There are two components. One is solid woody biomass, and another is loose and leafy biomass, and wet biomass. So loose and leafy biomass and the watery biomass waste, that is to be used for biogas plant. And whatever is dry and solid, woody, that is to be used for the cook stoves. But the cook stove technology, whatever we know, whatever is being shown, because I have handled this program, a national program, Improved Chula, when we did 35 million stoves. So I have been handling from the MNRE at that time. I know ins and outs. What they talk, A to Z, I am aware of. It is very fresh in my mind. But the stoves which we are providing, it is not liked by the people. They have to provide convenience as we get in LPGs. If we can provide a stove of that type, people will come forward. Otherwise, they will not.
Then biogas can compete with these modern fuels.
So therefore, biogas and the improved cook stoves, giving service similar to LPG, not exactly. Biogas giving service exactly as LPG is giving. Then we are going to solve the cooking fuel problem. Not only in rural areas, we can become energy surplus, we can come to semi-urban and urban areas. You know how much biomass waste in Delhi alone is available, and if you run that 74,000 ton, and 74,000, if you, once I calculated from the STP itself, there are 17 STP, and I calculated that with the 17 STP, the biogas which can be generated are being generated. You can convert that 17 multiplied by the capacity of biogas generation, even 10,000, and divide by 2. So 15,000, 20,000 kgs of LPG equivalent you can get per day from the STP alone, in addition to the biomass solid waste in mandis, sabji mandis, fruit mandis and all this, and the sanitary toilets, etc. The village home level biomass waste which we are generating. So, but since individuals will not, why government has to come forward? Because so far for the individual businessman there is no business. And people who are abroad in other countries, they look better business in solar and wind. And that is how there is a solar mission, and wind is now there because they can manufacture there or in China and then export it to India. So they see business there, whatever price they ask we have to pay. But in biogas and improved chula, they don't see that kind of business. And that is how it is not being pushed. That is the bare fact. So there has to be a lobbying, and if there is no lobbying from the business, the government has to come forward, recognize it, make a mission, cooking fuel mission, where the biomass cook stoves and the biogas together are put together. We provide the biofertilizer, organic fertilizer required by the soil, otherwise we have to import food. And it won't be available anywhere also, because the requirement will be so much. So you import electricity, you import oil, you import food, you import medicine, everything you import where there is money available, and where there is employment, where we are going to earn it from, where we are going to get dollars and pounds to buy it.